I found it extremely important in my life the past few years to really focus on producing some of our own food and really focus on becoming more self-reliant. One of the very first investments we made since buying this farm was my John Deere 3039R farm tractor. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without my farm tractor. It's very important. It's actually quite integral to the operation of the farm. You know, I'm not a full-time farmer, and yet I have a nice tractor, and I feel, blessed that I'm able to afford a tractor. Not everybody can say that. I did save up a lot of years for that sucker, and she's a beaut. There's so much that I wouldn't be able to get done on this property if it wasn't for that farm tractor. I don't know how people used to do things, like 200 years ago or 500 years ago. Like, how did they plant fields of wheat back in the day? Can you imagine using horses and plows and hands and digging and sowing by hand? Like, man, we got it made with today's technology, I think. Don't you think, guys? We got it made with equipment and technology. One might ask, why do you want to be self-reliant? Why do you want to live a farm or homestead lifestyle when you can just go to the grocery store and buy whatever you need for probably cheaper than what you can to produce it? And I mean, real self-sufficiency is providing your daily needs with things such as food and animals and meat, producing all of this stuff on your own land. But you gotta have enough land to begin with. Some people can start on 1 acre. We've invested in this 90-acre property, so we have more than enough space to do what we need in order to become self-reliant. How you doing, folks? My name's Chad, and my wife and I bought this 90-acre property approximately 2 years ago. These are our two puppies, Molly and Olive. They're amazing, and they really add to the ambiance of the farm. We're in the process of converting this property into an amazing farm stay and experience. Farm stay is like a vacation rental, and we're hoping to offer experiences in the future. For now, although we're still accepting guests in the farmhouse, we're in the process of building infrastructure. I've built a custom duck house for our ducks. I've built a custom chicken house for the chickens. We've planted orchards. We've built gardens. We've planted blueberry patch, strawberry patch. We have a pumpkin patch this year. Our ducks and our geese free range in the orchard. It's a permaculture orchard. We have a whole crew of barn cats here at the farm, and they handle our rodent situation, because when you have a farm, you have a lot of pests. Here's one of them. This is Fozzie Bear Barn Cat. He never strays far. He's a pretty cool cat, and we really enjoy having them on the farm. These galvanized raised beds that I bought, they're 30 inches tall, so they're quite deep. You don't want to be filling the soil all the way from the bottom to the top. That's going to cost you a fortune in soil. So I followed the hugelkultur method, which is a method of adding rotting wood to the bottom of the bed. And that encourages fungi, it encourages insects, it encourages worms, it starts to compost, and it really helps the soil above it. Let me just walk out here to the orchard. I want to show you these pumpkins. The pumpkins, they've only been in not even 2 weeks, and they're like sprouting like crazy. Look at them. This is the field that I sowed in a couple videos ago. And I think there's 3 different varieties of pumpkins here. I've been having a sprinkler put on it on a timer so that, you know, it'll encourage some growth. Sadly, there's some wild grape growing in and around the bed, so I'll have to deal with that at the end of the season. Nothing I can do about it now. Something different this year with this pumpkin patch. I basically tarped it for a while, killed all what's underneath, or what I thought was dead, and then I put fresh soil, just like a thin layer, you know, like a couple inches of fresh soil, and then I sowed the seed. And there's quite a lot of junk, you know, like weeds and wild grapes that are growing through. I'll have to deal with that at the end of the season, assuming we're going to harvest some pumpkins. And then I think what I'll do is tarp it, you know, and try to kill what's underneath. Rather than using some kind of chemicals, I'm not really interested in poisoning our land here. Of course, I couldn't do any of this work without my trusty John Deere 3039R farm tractor. This stuff is so light, eh? It's got no weight. Look, it looks like I'm a strong man because it's almost rotten. It's no good for firewood. But it's perfect for hugelkultur. Just finishing up building the brand new beds that are surrounding the tunnel trellis, and that way my wife will be able to plant her climbing beans, long beans, and some cucumbers, and maybe a couple other climbing veggies. It's a little bit late in the season, but we're gonna give it a go anyways. We got a couple cucumber varieties that just grow in like 50-60 days, so maybe by late August, September, we'll be able to harvest, but we'll see. We're going to give it a go anyhow. The garden's still very much a work in progress. I have a lot of the beds made, and we have a lot of brand new triple mix soil inside the beds. My wife has already planted a bunch of things. We got some peas growing. We got some cantaloupes, some onions, some peppers. All of our potatoes over here are looking pretty darn good. They're all sprouting pretty much, so that's a good sign. And there's a lot. We have 1, 2, 3 beds full of potatoes, hundreds of pounds of potatoes. We'll see. Wish us luck. We're on the right track, I think. All of our tomato plants are growing, you know. I don't know how to judge it. They look okay, I guess. They're not as big as I thought they would be by now. It's already July. Molly! Molly! Where are ya? What are you doing? Where's Olive? Huh? Where's Olive? You okay? There you are. What are you doing? What are you doing? There's also something to be said for the meat and vegetables that are offered to us in our grocery stores. And honestly, you don't know what kind of life the animal is living. You're not sure, right? You just go to the grocery store, you buy some chicken breasts, and they're big, giant breasts, and you think that they're amazing. Not without realizing what kind of a life that animal is living. How is it being treated on a day-to-day? How is it being slaughtered? Is it given hormones or antibiotics? All of those things are unknown. All the more reason to become more self-sufficient and more self-reliant. If you want to hear more about what my wife and I are trying to accomplish here at the farm, click the next video, and I do a pretty good job of explaining the entire story of our past 2-year journey.